Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to solve day 26 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 3480. Maximize subarrays after removing one conflicting pair. Alright, so let's read the problem statement. You are given an integer n which represents an array nums containing the numbers from 1 to n in order. Okay, so if n value is 4, then I have numbers like this 1, 2, 3 and 4. All right, okay. Additionally, you are given a 2D array conflicting pairs where conflicting pairs I, A, B indicates that A and B form a conflicting pair. Okay, done. Right, so we have to remove exactly one element from conflicting pairs. Afterward, count the number of non-empty subarrays of nums which do not contain both A and B. Okay, both A and B, right, for any remaining conflicting pair AB. All right, and we have to return the maximum number of subarrays possible after removing exactly one conflicting pair. All right, so let's understand these two lines, right, with an example here. Okay, but first, what is subarray? Subarray is a contiguous non-empty sequence of elements within an array, right? So now here, one more important point: conflicting pairs I0 is not equal to conflicting pairs I1. Okay, so these two values are different, okay, every time, right? So this is given the constraints. All right, and these are the other constraints. Okay, just go over them. It's simple. Okay, so n is equal to 4. So n is equal to 4 means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right? Okay, so now how many subarrays I can form of this 1, 2, 3, 4? I can form this just one. Okay, I can form this subarray. I can form 1, and here 2 I can form. Okay, same way here I can form 1, 2, and I can form 3. Okay, same way I can form here 1, 2. Okay, all are starting from 1 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is 4. Right, now if I start from 2, then I can form 2, 2, 3, and a 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2, right, I can form 2, and here 3, and I can form 4. Okay, this is done. And same way I can form a 2 also, 2, 3 also. Now here 2 and 3 also. Okay, so this is for starting from 2. Okay, now if I start from 3, okay, then I can form 3. Okay, I can form here 3 and 4. Okay, these two I can form. Now same way, if I start from 4, then I can have just this 4. Okay, this 4, done. Okay, so now in total how many subarrays are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 9 subarrays we can form, right? Okay, in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 10 are there, right? Okay, so in total 10 we can form, right? But here these are the conflicting pairs given to us, right? So now tell me how many subarrays, in how many subarrays I have 2 and 3. Okay, just take this, how many subarrays I have 2 and 3. So this is one, right? So I can say that this is not valid. Okay, because it contains both A and B, right? Not valid. Same way, this is also not valid. Okay, both 2 and 3 are there. This one is also not valid, both 2 and 3 are there. Okay, okay, and this one is also not valid, both 2, 3 are there, right? 2 and 3. Okay, so now out of these 10, 4 are invalid. Okay, just by removing the all the subarrays which contains both 2 and 3. Okay, so now we have total valid 6, right? Okay, total valid is 6 right now, right? Same way, check for 1, 4. So 1, 4, only one subarray in which both 1 and 4 are there. Okay, and it is already invalid. Okay, because of this 2, 3. So now 6 are valid, right? So 6 is my output. No, 6 is not my output, right? Why? Because of this line. You can remove exactly one element from conflicting pairs. Okay, so now from the conflicting pairs, okay, tell me if I remove this 1, 4. Okay, if I remove this 1, 4 from the conflicting pairs. Okay, if I remove this, so okay, so still this subarray, okay, this subarray only contains both 1 and 4. Okay, even if I ignore 1, 4, this is still invalid, right? Because of 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3 is there, so still my output is going to be 6 only if I remove 1, 4. Okay, so with 1, 4 I'm not getting the best answer, right? So now let's say if I can only remove one element, okay, exactly one element from conflicting pair. Okay, so let's say I remove this 2 and 3. Okay, I remove this 2 and 3. Okay, only 1, 4 is there. So 4, 2, 3, so this 2, 3 is there. Okay, let's make it valid. Okay, 1, 2, 3, this is now valid. Same way here, 2, 3, okay, it will become valid, but 1, 4 is there now, so it is going to be still invalid, right? Here this 2, 3, this is going to become valid. Okay, this 2, 3 is also going to become valid. So now out of 10, only this one is invalid, right? Only this one is invalid, right? So output is 9. Okay, so that is why output is 9. So now if you read this explanation, remove 2, 3 from conflicting pairs. Now conflicting pair is equal to just 1, 4. Okay, now in all these subarrays, Okay, only subarray which contains both 1 and 4 is this. Remove this, and the remaining are here. If you see 1, okay, 1 2 1 2 3, then 2, then this 2 3, then here 2 3 4, okay, then this 3, then this 3 4, okay, and then in the end this 4. Okay, so there are 9 subarrays in nums where 1 4 do not appear together. Okay, the maximum number of subarrays we can achieve after removing one element from conflicting pair is 9. So 9 is your output. Okay, so I hope that you guys are clear with these lines, okay, what we are doing, right? Okay, now see this example number 2. N is equal to 5. Okay, so for n is equal to 5 you have to form all the pairs. Okay, so for n is equal to 5 you have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so now after that you have to remove the conflicting pairs. Okay, so I will come to this example, okay, by doing the dry run, right? But first let's understand what we need to do to solve this problem. Okay, I will come to this example for dry run in the end. Okay, right, so let's suppose you have this sub array. Okay, let's say you have 1, okay, you have 2, then you have 3, and then you have 4. Okay, so now here if I say that this 2, okay, and here if I say 4 is there. Okay, so I'm saying here that this is nothing but a conflicting pair. Okay, right, this is one conflicting pair, right? Okay, so now here how many subarrays, tell me how many subarrays you can form which are going to end to till this 4. Okay, so you can form this 1 2 3 4 complete. Okay, all right, this is the one subarray you can form, the subarrays which are ending at 4. Okay, all right, you can form this. Okay, and here you can form this. All right, okay, so these are the subarrays that you can form, right? Okay, done. Okay, 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 and 3 4 and one more, just single 4. Okay, so total 4 you can form. All right, okay, so now here I am saying 4 4. Okay, the subarrays which are ending at 4. Okay, for this 4. Okay, conflict starts from 2. Okay, conflict starts from 2. Okay, conflict starts from 2, right? So here I am taking the smaller value. Okay, if you notice here I'm taking the smaller value, and here I'm taking the max value. Okay, so here let's say I'm taking mean value here among this pair. Okay, whatever the values I have among this, in this side I'm going to take mean value, and in this side I'm taking max value. Okay, let's say like this. All right, so now I'm checking the subarrays which are ending at 4. So we have 4 total. Okay, what are those 4? 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 3 4 and just 4, right? Now for this 4, conflict is starting from this 2. Okay, for this 4, conflict is starting from 2. Okay, this is a conflicting, right? This is a conflicting. So we have subarrays like this we can form, right? 1 2 3 4 we can form. Okay, and then we can form 2 3 and 4. Okay, then we can form here 3 4. Okay, and then we can form here 4. All right, all this, right? So these are the ones that we can form, right? Okay, so now conflict is starting from this 2. Okay, so that simply means that I have to ignore this. Okay, 1 2 3 4, I have to ignore this also. So only after this 2 I have to start. Okay, so here if after 2 I need to start. Okay, until 2 there is conflict, so in the left side all are becoming invalid. Okay, in the 2's left side we have 1. Okay, this is automatically becoming invalid, and this itself is starting from 2, this is also invalid. Okay, but after 2 if I start, I just take this 3 4, these are valid, right? If you see these green color ones. Okay, 3 4 valid. Okay, and then this 4, this just 4. Okay, this is also valid. So how many are valid? 2 are valid. Okay, so here I can say uh, these numbers are in order, right? These numbers are in order, so I can say 4. Okay, which is this endpoint. Okay, 4 is the endpoint, right? So from this 4, if I subtract what, the last conflict point. Okay, the max conflict point, the conflict point. Okay, from where the problem was seen. Okay, from where the conflict was seen very first time. Okay, so from this 2, right? Force left side. Okay, where the conflict is seen for very first time. So 2, so if I subtract 2 from 4, so I am going to get 2. Okay, and this 2 is nothing but these 2 valid subarrays. Okay, this 3 4 and this 4. All right, clear, done. Okay, this is one thing that I want to show you. All right, now second thing. Now here instead of 2 4, if I say here let's say I take 1 4. Okay, and here if I take let's say 3 4. Okay, let's say like this. All right, and okay, so now here if you notice, now again there is going to be one conflict from here. Okay, from 1, and there is going to be one conflict from here also. Okay, now for 4 I can say that I have two conflicts. One is from 1, okay, and one is from 3, right? So these are the two conflicts, right? For this 4, okay, just I'm taking one single point, okay. The subarrays which are ending at 4, for these 4s there are two conflicts, okay. One is this 1 and one is 3, okay, if two values are there in my conflicting pairs, right? So now here, now in this case, which value is mattering most to you? Tell me, right? So if I take 1 4, if I just take this 1 4, then okay, if I just take this 1 as conflicting point, then this is going to be valid 2 3 4, 3 4 is going to become valid, 3 4 is going to be valid, okay, 3 are going to be valid. Now instead of 1 4, if I just take this 3 4, okay, 3 as the conflicting point, so definitely this is also going to become invalid, this is also going to become invalid, okay, and this is also going to become invalid, okay, if I just take this 3. So in this case always choose the max value, okay. For 4, two conflicting points are there, 1 and 3. Among 1 and 3, what is max? 3 is the max, okay. 3 is the max, take this. So now if you take this 3 as max, okay, so now how many total subarrays you can form? So 4 minus, here you need to update 3, okay, 4 minus 3 and you are going to get 1, okay. So one subarray, okay, that is the answer only, okay. So here even if you check 1 4 and then check 3 4, okay, you are going to get the same result, okay, if you just check 3 4 only, right? Because automatically this one is going to be ignored, okay, right? This one is automatically ignored, okay. So in the force the immediate left value is 3, so after 3 only we can start making valid, okay. We can't start from 2 3 4, because if I start from 2 then 3 4 is already there. If I start from 1 then already 2 3 4 is already there, okay. So always take max. All right, so this is the second point that I want to cover here. All right, okay, this is done, 2 points are done. Now third point, let's say one more point here. Let's say you have arrays like this, okay. So let's say you have one, I'm taking very simple examples right now, 1 2 3 4, okay, and let's say you have 5 6. All right, let's say this is your example, okay. Let's say you have conflicting points like this 4 and 6, okay, and here one more conflicting point 2 and 6. All right, so here I'm taking mean value, here I'm taking max value, here I'm taking mean value, here I'm taking max value, right? So now for 6, how many subarrays you can form? You can form this one, okay, which are ending at 6, okay. One is, okay, one this you can form, one starting from 3 you can form, one starting from 4 you can form, one starting from 5 you can form, one just 6, okay. So now among them, okay, among them, okay, you, if you take this 2 6 as the conflict, okay, 2 6 as the only conflict, okay. So then in that case how many subarrays you can form? 6 minus 2 4 subarrays you can form, okay, if you take this 2 6 as conflict. If you take 4 6 as conflict, then only 2 subarrays you can form, that is nothing but 5 6 and 6, okay. So that is why here we were taking a max value among them, okay. Okay, always, right? So if we take maximum, then we are going to cover all the cases, right? All the cases. So for 6 you have 2 comma 4, take the max 4, okay. So now only two are valid, which are 5 and 6, which are ending at 6, okay. I'm saying ending at 6 only right now, okay, 6. All right, now here we didn't discuss about removing exactly one conflict, okay. So in the problem statement is saying that you can remove exactly one element from conflicting pairs. Now here tell me which one should I remove, 4 6 or 2 6? I need the, in the output, the max number, okay. Return the maximum number of subarrays possible after removing exactly one. So which should I remove? Should I remove 4 6 from the conflicting pairs or 2 6 from the conflicting pairs? Okay, so always remove the max one, okay, always remove the max one, right? So with this, okay, 2 is the output, right? 6 minus 4, 2 is the output, okay. These two I went. Now here I'm saying you can remove exactly one element, okay. So always remove this bigger one, okay, because if you remove this 4 6, if you remove this 4 6, okay, then see, then in total this is the last conflicting point. So now in total you can form 4, okay, 3 4 5 6, you can form 4 5 6, you can form 5 6 and 6 4, right? So here for the 6, okay, max conflict was 4, and second max conflict after this 4 was 2, okay. Now we can remove exactly one conflict. If I remove this 4, okay, max conflict, right? So how many extras I'm adding? I'm adding extras as 3 4 5 6 and 4 5 6, okay. So previously when my 4 was there, these two are the outputs, okay, 4 5 6 and 6. Now these two are the extras, okay. These two extras are these 3 4 5 6 and 4 5 6. So extras, how can I'm going to add? 2 was the original result, and extras I'm going to add as this max conflict minus second max conflict, okay. If I subtract these two values minus second max conflict, so I'm going to get 4 minus 2, that is 2. Okay, so that means these two extras which are going to come now. Okay, so 2 extras and 2 previous, so total 4. So 4 is my output. Okay, 4 is output for the varied subarrays which are ending at 6. All right, so here just for 6 I'm checking now. Same way you have to check for the subarrays which are ending at 5. Same way you have to check for the subarrays ending at 4. Same way you have to check for the subarrays ending at 3. Same way you have to check for the subarrays ending at 2. Same way you have to check for the subarrays ending at 1. Okay, and you have to make sure that conflicting pairs, if we have, right, how many total subarrays we can form. Okay, and after removal, okay, if I remove any one conflicting pairs, okay, for the subarrays which are ending at that particular point, I will just count the extras, how many extras I can form. Okay, so for this 6, okay, for this 6, this was the highest conflicting point 4. Okay, and if I remove this highest conflicting point, how many extras I can form? 2. Okay, same way for all the points I will check now. If I remove 3 as the my highest conflicting point at any point of time, then how many extras I can form? Let's say 1 here. Let's say after removing 2, 1 only. After removing this 1, okay. After removing this 5, 1. Let's say after removing this 6, 1. Okay. Let's say like this, you get something, right? So among them, when is the maximum extra elements or subarrays you are going to form? Okay, when removing highest conflicting point. So this was the 2, right? So this 2 you are going to add. Okay, so let me prove this with an example. Okay, so now let's take this good example. N is equal to 5 and conflicting pairs 1, 2, 2, 5 and 3, 5. Okay, so let's take this same example. All right, let's do the dry run on this. N is equal to 5. That simply means we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 and we have 5. Okay, now here conflicting pairs 1, 2, 2, 5. Okay, here 1, 2. Okay, we have 2, 5. Okay, and then we have here 1, 2, 2, 5, 3, 5. All right. Okay, so let me write here 3, 5. Okay, so now I'm going to form the varied subarrays. Okay, and this will clear more of your doubts. Okay, more of your doubts. So here first, here there is one more thing. Okay, okay, so here min max. Okay, here min max. Okay, here also min max. Okay, but let's say here, let's say there is some example. Let's say instead of 3, 5, here 5, 3 is there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to replace them as 3, 5. Okay, I'm just going to write them like this, 3, 5. Okay, so start, in this start, okay, I will take min value in this and I will take the max value. Okay, and this is given that this should not be equal, these values are not equal. Okay, this is given the constraints also, right? So here in the left side I will keep min, and here in the right side I take the max. Okay, so now how I'm going to solve this problem, let's understand this. Okay, so I'm going to do the complete dry run in this. Okay, so total varied subarrays, right? This is what we need to find out, how many total varied subarrays, right? So initially let's take count of total varied subarrays as 0. Okay, now here let's create the array list. Okay, for the conflicting points. Okay, for 1 how many conflicting points are there? Okay, for 2 how many conflicting points are there? For 3 how many conflicting points are there? For 4 how many conflicting pairs are there? For 5 how many conflicting points are there? Okay, so here once this is done, okay, then after that I'm going to just iterate over all these conflicting pairs one by one. Okay, in the start I'm taking min value, in the end of this I'm taking the max value. Okay, so here for 2 only one conflicting point is 1. Okay, so I'm adding 1 here in the array list. Okay, in the array list, right? Same way here for 5 2 is the conflicting point, so I'm adding this 2 here. Okay, for this 5 3 is also there in a conflicting point, so I'm taking 3 here. Okay, so these are the conflicting points. For this empty now, there is nothing, no conflicting point. Okay, right, this is done. Okay, and also I need to keep track of the highest conflict point, okay, max conflict point and second max conflict point. Okay, so that when I remove one conflicting pair I need to see how many extras I can form. Okay, for that highest, after for that particular highest max conflict point. Okay, if I remove that, so I keep track of that. Okay, so for that purpose let's create few more variables. Okay, this is total varied subarrays, and here I'm creating, let's say, highest conflicting point. Okay, and I'm going to set it to 0 only. Okay, and here second highest conflicting point, and I'm going to set it to 0 only. Okay, this is done. So now I have to form the extra subarrays. Okay, so I'm going to create one extra subarray, okay, which is used to store the number of extra subarrays by removing the conflicting point. Okay, so let's say this is my extra subarray that I form. Okay, so here I will just write, after removing this conflicting point, how many subarrays extras. After removing this as the highest conflicting point, this 3 as the highest conflicting point. After removing this 4 as the highest conflicting point. After removing this 5 as the highest conflicting point. Okay, so initially all these values I can say 0 0 initially. Okay, by default all these values are 0 0. Okay, so I can say that this is nothing but my extra sub array. Okay, I can say this, right? Okay, this is done. Now after that I have to start from this one. Okay, so for one, okay, how many conflicting points are there? Okay, for this one, how many conflicting points are there? Nothing, there are no conflicting points here. Okay, done. Okay, so for this one there are no conflicting okay, so I can form just one. Okay, I can form one only, right? So in my output, okay, in my valid sub array, I can say I can form this one. Okay, this one, right? So this one is valid only, right? Okay, now after that I move here, let's say. Okay, after this I move here. Okay, for this two, one is the conflicting point. Okay, so one is max only. So how many total values I can form? 2 minus 1 1. Okay, so that one is going to be just this 2. Okay, and I can't form 1 2, right? I can't form 1 2 because in this way both 1 and 2 are there, right? Only 2 I can form, right? So that's why 2 minus max of this, so 1. Okay, so in the total valid, just count the frequency. Okay, here 1 and here this one. Okay, I take, okay, here I just take 2. Okay, right now 2 are there. All right. Okay, this is done, right? Okay, now here if you notice one more thing, highest conflicting point and second highest conflicting point, initially both are 0, right? But for these two right now, this one is the conflicting point. Okay, this one is the conflicting point, only one conflicting point. So I can say that this is nothing but my second highest my highest conflicting point 2. Okay, and my second highest conflicting point is nothing but my previous highest conflicting point, which was 0 only. So here I'm writing 0 only, right? So for this 2, my highest conflicting point, not 2, why I'm writing 2, it should be 1. Okay, 1 is the highest conflicting point right now for this 2, right? For this 2, 1 is the highest conflicting point. Okay, and we are here only right now. Okay, so if I want to form the extras, so only one extra is possible. If I just do highest conflicting point minus second highest conflicting point, only one. Okay, ending at 1, ending at 2. Okay, now these are valid. Okay, if I want to add this extra conflicting point, okay, extra conflicting point, when it's going to happen, when I'm going to remove this. Okay, so when I'm going to remove this, okay, so that simply means highest conflicting point, then this 1 2 is also going to become valid, right? 1 2 is also going to become valid because I'm removing this one. Okay, this 1 2 I'm removing this. Okay, so that one I can simply get using this formula na? Highest conflicting point minus second highest conflicting point, highest conflicting point minus second highest conflicting point. So 1 minus 0, here I'm getting just 1. Okay, and that is nothing but about this 1 and 2. I'm talking about 1 and 2. Okay, this is valid, right? Done. Okay, now here next time, let's say you reach here. Okay, so now here for this 3, there are no conflicting points. There are no conflicting points. So are you directly going to add 3 minus 0, 3 valid, like 1 2 3 2 3 and 3? Are you going to add 3? Are you going to add 3 or no? No, because here for this 3, in the past for this 2, 1 was the conflicting point. Okay, so definitely if I take, if I until 3 I can form 1. Okay, I can form 1 2 3, I can form, okay, until 3 only I'm saying na, 3 here I can form this 2 3 2 and 3. Okay, until 3. But here I can't say that these 3 are my total value summaries. Okay, even though for 3 there are no conflicting points. Why? Because in the past for this 2 there was one conflicting point which was 1. Okay, so definitely this 1 2 3 is not going to be my valid subarray, right? 1 2 3 is not going to be valid subarray because of this 2, because this 2 has one conflicting point and this pair 1 2 is there in this 1 2 3, right? So in this case what is going to happen, for this 3 also I am going to take this, that is nothing but your highest conflicting point as 1 only for this 3 as well. So 3 minus 1, I will get 2, and the two values are what? 2 3. Okay, 2 3 is one valid and one valid is 3. Clear? Okay, so that is why this highest conflicting point and second highest conflicting point is important. Okay, so I'm going to iterate over all the conflicting points, right? And if there are no conflicting points, then how I'm going to add the total valid subarrays? I'm going to add the total valid subarrays as highest. Okay, this and 3 3 minus last time what was the highest conflicting point. Okay, from there only I have to start. I don't want to take that. Okay, so only 2 3, so I will add these two. Okay, so here 2 3, okay, and 3. Okay, so right now your 1 2 and here 3 third one, and this is nothing but fourth one. Okay, so you have 4 right now and valid one. Okay, so now here same way for this 3 also, for this 2 here just change the extra subarrays, how many extra subarrays you can form. Okay, so if uh, if your one has the highest point, okay, if your one has the highest point, okay, so then one you can form, right? Here one, okay, if you remove this one. Same way for this three also, only one is the highest conflicting point. Now if you remove this one also, then again this one is the only one that is going to be added, 1 2 3, okay, right? For this one, okay, we can only add one only, okay, HCP minus SSCP, highest conflicting point, minus small second highest conflicting point, 1 minus 0 1, and that one is going to be 1 2 3 only. We can only move one at a time, right? Again for this one has the highest conflicting point, again this one is possible, right? So here this one, previously it was there one extra, okay, extra subarray that we can form was for this 1 2, okay. Now again with the removal of this one, okay, as the highest conflicting point, I can form one more, 1 2 3. So in total how many? So in total for this one I have now 2, right? And these two are this 1 2, okay. If I just remove one as the highest conflicting point, so I can form this 1 2 also, I can form this 1 2 3 also. That is why here I'm just did the addition here, okay. How many extra conflicting subarrays previous time, extra subarrays, right, that I can form at this for this highest conflicting point. Now again this one more possibility is there, so I'm going to add this, okay. Now after that I'm going to move to this 4, okay. Same way for this 4 also, here there are no conflicting points, okay, here inside this, but here last time the highest conflicting point still is 1, okay, and the second highest conflicting point is 0, right? So how many we can form? Here and the value is 4 and the highest conflicting point is 1. 4 minus 1 3 we can form. And what are those threes? You can say 2 3 4, okay. This is what you can form. You can form 3 4 and you can form 4, okay, these three, right? Okay, so here if you on the right, okay, we are writing the same thing only here, 2 3 4, okay, this is possible, 3 4 is possible, and 4 is possible, okay, 4 is possible, right? So in total we have 5 6 and 7 until now, okay, right? Now if you for this 4 also, how many extra subarrays you can form? So for this 4 only, if you remove this highest conflicting point now, so 1 2 3 4 is also possible, right? 1 2 3 4 is also possible, okay. So with the removal of 1 as the highest conflicting point, you can make this extra, this extra, this extra, total 3, okay. So here I'm just going to make 3 here, okay. So here total 3 subarrays I can form if I just remove one, okay. Now after that we are going to reach 5. So for 5 now, interesting thing, another interesting thing, we have conflicting point as 2 and 3, okay. So first we have 2, okay. So if I have 2 as the conflicting point, so I'm going to change this as 2, okay. 2 is greater than 1, okay. And second highest definitely is going to become 1 now, okay, the previous highest conflicting point. Now next time I reach here 3, I'm going to make this as 3 as the highest complement, and second highest complement I'm making 2, okay. So now for 5, how many subarrays I can form? And is 5, okay, and my highest complement is 3, so 5 minus is 2, 2 we can form, that is 1 is 5 and 1 is 4 5, okay, ending at 5. So here I can say 1 is 5 and 1 is 4 comma 5. So here if you say 8 and 9, and how many extras we can form? Extras we can form is simple, okay. So highest conflicting point minus second highest conflicting point, 3 minus 2, only 1 we can form, okay. So if I remove this 3, so I can form one more, that is 2 3 4 5, okay. 2 3 4 5, okay. So with the removal of 3 as the highest conflicting point, I can only make one extra, okay, only one extra, right? So now in total how many values we are forming? Total values we are forming is 9 here. And now among these, what is the max extra subarrays? If I remove 1 as, I will get 3. If I remove 2 as, max 0 only, 3 1, okay. So max is 3, so 9 plus 3, output is 12. So let's see if 12 is our output or not. So yes, 12 is our output, okay. So if I remove 1, okay, 1 2, this one, okay, from the conflicting pairs, now conflicting pairs 2 5 3 5, there are 12 subarrays nums, right, where 2 and 5 3 and 5 do not appear together. Okay, the maximum number of subarrays we can achieve after removing one element from conflicting pair is 12. That's it, okay. So that's what you need to do, right? Now let's write the code for this one, okay. Very easy right now, right? After explanation, I think this problem will be very easy for you, okay. Code is going to be very small, okay, and I'm going to use the variables read only, right, so that you guys get better understanding of the code as well, okay. So here long total valid sub arrays, okay. I'm using a little bit long variable names, okay, just for your better understanding. Now conflicting points, okay. So list of points where conflict, which conflict with I, okay. So here for that I'm just going to create list and list of integer conflicting points is equal to new array list, okay. And here after that I'm going to use for int I is equal to 0, and here I is less than n, and here, okay, I is less than equal to n, and here I plus plus, all right. And here you have to just write conflicting okay, points dot add new array list. Okay, this is done. Now here we have to build the conflicting points list. Okay, so for that, just iterate over all the pairs. You can simply use for each loop. Okay, so here you can write int pair, and here in the conflicting pairs. Okay, so here inside this, in the start you have to take main only always. So here I'm going to use this trick. Okay, math.main, and here pair 0, and here pair 1. Okay, whatever the mean among them. Okay, pair 0, and here pair 1. Okay, so here that's 0 and 1. Okay, among them, what is the mean? I'm going to take that in the start variable. Okay, same way I'm going to create one more variable int end. Okay, in this math dot I'm taking max. Okay, among what? Among my pair 0 and my pair 1. All right, this is done. Okay, so min max, this is done, right? So now here conflicting points dot get the end. Okay, for this end, what are the conflicting points? So I'm going to add them in the start. Okay, add them here, start. All right, this is done. Okay, this is done. Now we are only dealing with the highest conflict point and second highest conflict point. Okay, so int highest conflict point. Okay, I'm going to set it to 0. Okay, same way I'm going to create one more variable here, int, I'm going to say second highest conflict point. Okay, and I'm going to set it to 0 only. Now I have to create one extra subarrays, right? Number of extra subarrays by removing the conflicting point I. Okay, the highest conflicting point, right? So here long, and here I'm just going to write extra subarrays, and here new long. Okay, and here I write n plus 1. Reason is very simple, since we are starting from 1 until n. Okay, n is included, so that's the reason, right? Then we have to process each endpoint of subarrays. Okay, so ends are starting from 1, so I can say end is equal to 1, end is less than equal to n. Okay, and end plus plus. All right, here we have to update the max and second max conflicting points. So how I'm going to do that? I'm simply going to use for each loop. Okay, for int here conflict point. Okay, in the my conflicting points. Okay, so here just copy this and paste it here, conflicting points dot get end. Okay, for this end, how many conflicting points in my array list? Okay, so here inside this I'm going to check very simple thing. Okay, if the conflict point, okay, if the conflict point value that I have right now, okay, if it is greater than my highest conflicting point. Okay, if it is greater than my highest conflicting point, right? So in that case, okay, in that case what you need to do, you have to update your second highest conflicting point. Okay, so here you can say second highest conflicting point with the previous conflict point. Okay, with the your second highest conflict point, you have to come update with the highest conflict point right now, and this highest conflict point you are going to update with the current conflict point. Okay, very simple, right? Conflict point. Okay, this is done. So if conflict point, okay, new point that I'm going to get is greater than the highest conflict point, though, then my second highest conflict point take the value of the highest conflict point, previous one, and new highest conflict point is going to become this conflict point. Okay, but in the else part, okay, else if the conflict point that I'm going to pass, okay, it is not greater than greater than equal to my highest conflict point, but instead of that it is greater than my second second highest conflict point. Okay, if this is the case, it is only greater than the second highest conflict point, not highest. Okay, h capital here, then in that case I am just going to update my second highest conflict point. Okay, so here I'm just going to write second, and here h capital, second highest conflict point. Okay, this is going to be equal to the conflict point. Okay, it should be small, conflict point. Okay, so this is what I explained, right? Same thing I'm going, right? That's it. Once this is done, all right, all good. So now here this ends. Okay, so now how you're going to calculate the total valid subarrays, count the valid subarrays ending at end. Okay, so here you can say total valid sub arrays is equal to end minus the highest conflicting point. Okay, highest conflicting point. And how are you going to calculate the extra sub arrays possible by removing the highest conflict point? So here extra sub arrays, okay, inside this the highest probability point, okay. In this what you're going to add, okay, plus is equal to the highest probability point minus the second highest probability point, okay, second, and here you have to write second highest, okay. So remove this h capital, okay. So this is how you are going to calculate the extra subarrays, okay. So here you know now, here we are doing 1, then 1 plus 1, then 1 plus 1 plus 1, okay, 3, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, okay. So that's the reason I'm writing like this, okay. So this is done, okay. Once this is done, then very simple now you have to just iterate over the extra subarrays, find the max value, and whatever the max value you are going to get, just add that to this total value subarray. That's it, that's it, okay. Very simple, only few lines of code. Now find maximum possible array, extra subarrays, okay. Long max extra, and here sub arrays is equal to 0, okay. And then for long value in which this extra sub arrays, right. So here extra sub arrays, okay. And here you have to take the max only, right. So if value is greater than max extra sub arrays, in that case your max sub arrays is equal to value, okay. So in this way you are going to get the max value, right. And once you get this max value, then it's very simple now. From here you have to just return what total value sub arrays, okay. Just copy this total value sub arrays plus the max extra sub arrays, okay. This point, okay. So here why I'm writing this, it should be max extra sub arrays, right. And here max extra sub arrays, that's it, okay. So now let's run the code and see if any code issue. Will try to fix that. So yes, so here I haven't initialized this, I think, right. So here just initialize it, and let's run it again and see if there are any other issues. Okay, so all the test is accepted, right. Okay, nice. So now let's submit it. So see, our solution is accepted, right. So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you guys in the next video. Thank you, bye bye. Okay, so here again, for this one has the highest conflicting point. Again